Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you, and today we are going to talk about the ultimate SARMS and Peptides healing stack. But before we get into that, just a big shout out and thank you to everybody out there supporting the channel. I cannot thank you enough. If you haven't yet, please like, sub, and share whatever you can do. It truly helps the channel to grow. Now today's video is sponsored by Aura. Aura is the ultimate credit monitoring service. They offer the widest variety of identity theft and credit monitoring options. So what do you exactly get with Aura? You're going to get 3 bureau credit monitoring and identity theft protection with alerts. You've got password protection so you can store all of your passwords privately. You get their antivirus software. You're going to get a secure VPN. You've got parental controls and 24 hours a day and 7 days a week US-based customer support. Look, the FBI just put out a study. There was a 64% increase in financial loss due to digital crime. All of the Aura plans are coming with a $1 million identity theft insurance policy, and you can literally get individual couple or family plans. They start as low as $12 a month, and you can put up to 5 people on there. Check the description below and click on my link, and you're going to get a 14-day free trial, so I would definitely take advantage of that. Now, I want to talk to you about the ultimate SARMS and Peptides healing stack. I gave a video, the ultimate SARMS healing stack. Now, within that SARMS healing stack, we had 3 different products: MK677, MK2866, and LGD4033. That is the ultimate SARMS healing stack. Now, we're going to take it a step further. And I just put out videos recently on TB500 and BPC157, and you're going to get the education that you need on those to see why this is the most amazing and best stack that you can go with. Now, a lot of people will say, what about HGH? What about HGH? You can definitely run HGH. You can get some very strong healing there. Nobody's going to doubt that. We're scaling it down a little bit, preventing the use of HGH, which is not for everybody and not for a lot of people, and trying to put together here the best possible scenario for healing without the use of HGH, and this would be the stack. Now, I'm going to say this off the top. MK677 and MK2866 are absolute must. They belong here no matter what. You could, for several reasons, drop the LGD4033. I'm going to give a few reasons why it's here and then give you a few reasons why you get away with dropping it. It's here because it has minor healing properties. And by adding it into that stack with the healing properties, you're also getting the extreme strength and the capability of, very large size out of a SARM, possibly up to that 10-pound mark with something like this. It's a bulking SARM. It's dry, but it's a bulking SARM. It's not for everybody, and it's not necessarily absolutely necessary, but because it has the healing benefits and properties, and because it has all those other properties, now you could argue, well, it's more suppressive, which is true. You're going to need a mini PCT with MK2866 anyway, but yes, there will be more suppression present. May not be the most suitable for a female. If indeed a female does use it, I always recommend a very low dose of it, 2.5 milligrams a day. And so you may not see the necessary need to use it. Some people don't want extra size and things like that. They don't want any of that. So that's the one you could potentially drop here if need be. I have it in here though, and I gave you the reasons why. So, and then with MK677, I tell people, and you can go cite the studies and look this up. I'm not going to argue with people. The studies are there, and I understand that it may not be suitable for certain people to even use, and I make mention of that every time I talk about it. Diabetics, don't go near it. It's not good for you in any way, and you should never, ever use it. And I've covered that before in other videos, so I'm not going to, get into that now. But I always say 6 months minimum to get the most out of it. It's just like HGH in terms of it's a slow but long process with continual and gradual, things that you're getting out of it. Early on, you're going to notice the hunger that we talk about with it, and the better sleep. Those are the first stages. Then you're probably going to see your skin starting to get better over the next phases, and you'll lose some of the water that you were holding, but your skin will be looking good. Hair, nails, oftentimes people see. Then, as you keep going on, you start to get that fat loss and that lean muscle gain, just like you do with HGH. I tell MK677 is the closest thing to HGH you can get. But you got to run it for a duration to get out, the most out of it. Just like HGH, you want to run it, a few months. You see some things out of it, but you'll never get what you're supposed to. To each their own. That's the way that I recommend running it. And 25 milligrams a day. This cycle itself is 12 weeks. 25 milligrams a day of MK67, 677 only needs to be dosed once a day. I prefer evenings because it's beneficial for sleep. However, there have been very few people that for some reason say they interfere with their sleep and then they take it in the morning. But there's other reasons why you want to take it in the evening. When you start to get that extreme hunger, that can curb it a lot for people while they're sleeping, and there can be some lethargy with it, especially early on where you're feeling just drained during the day, and that helps to mitigate and kind of prevent that by taking it at night. Not everybody goes through those either, but the recommendation is night. Now with MK2866, and for females, you would want to half that dose, so 12.5 milligrams per day. For MK2866, for men, 25 milligrams a day, once a day. I just take it in the morning, the first 2 weeks, and then feel free to bump it to 50 if you like, or you can stay on the 25 if you like, but it's perfectly suitable to bump to 50 for the next 10 weeks. It's still once a day dosing. For females, 12.5 milligrams the first 2 weeks, and then feel free to bump it to 25 the rest of the way, or you can keep it at 12.5. LGD 4033, 10 milligrams a day for men, once a day, morning. Females, I prefer you to stay at the 2.5 milligrams a day. Once a day, just like men. If you run it at 2.5 a good 4 to 6 weeks and you feel like you're okay with it and your blood work indicates it, then you could potentially bump it to 5. I don't see any reason to do that. That's up to you. I don't see any reasoning for that. Now, we've got the two new additions here, the BPC 157 and the TB 500. So, I don't know if you've watched my other videos or not, but I'll give you the dosing on these. Both are 12 weeks. You will be injecting these as opposed to the SARMs, which you will be taking orally. So keep that in mind as well. So with your BPC 157, if you watch my video, there's a formula I gave you on kilogram weights and things like that. I'm not going to get into that one on here. All I'm going to tell you is this. Most people that take BPC over all the years in logs are doing between 250 and 500 micrograms a day, splitting the injections up morning and evening. 500 micrograms perfectly fine. I've never seen any issue from female or male on that, but I would split the injections. Now, TB 500 is a little different. The first 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to take 10 milligrams per week. You're going to split that into 5 microgram injections. Then that's your loading phase. Then you've got your maintenance phase. So then it's only 5 milligrams once a week injection with that. Now you can, because you're going to need a mini post-cycle therapy for men, women do not. With the mini PCTs, 4 weeks, you will either do Clomid or Novadex, one or the other. You can do 50 milligrams per day of Clomid week 1 and then drop it to 25 milligrams the rest of the way. Nova 40 milligrams per day week 1 and then drop it to 20 milligrams the rest of the way. And then I always recommend GW 501, 516 in all of my PCTs for a variety of reasons. Cortisol control, the ability to not have any side effects or suppression and keep all of your, performance up. You're still going to have the ability to build your VO2 max, even though you go through a PCT when things get harder. This helps them to not be nearly as hard. It helps with cholesterol as well. There's a variety of reasons, blood pressure, all the things that could be affected in PCT. Now, you also are going to want to continue your MK677 as I discussed, and you could continue the TB500. You could potentially continue the BPC as well. That depends on the severity of the injury, and you don't want to run them too long. I would not go any longer than 12 weeks personally. So that's the stack. Ultimate SARMS and peptide healing stack. Quickly, my recommendations, I've discussed this on my SARMS company videos, and peptides fall into this as well in this area where I would say Umbrella Labs is my favorite. Definitely my favorite. And I've spoken about that a lot. I rated them number 1. I've used so many of their things. It's just been the best since I first started using things. And that was probably because that was the very beginning when they were just new and first time your body's using them in different times, but nothing has been as good as Umbrella since then. And then the other place is called SARMS for sale, but it's SARMS.FORSALE. Those are my 2 recommendations. I'm not saying they're the only 2 greatest things out there. I'm saying for me, I feel 100% supremely confident that I could recommend them, and they're not going to make me look bad. Now, there's always potential for that anywhere, but I know, like, it's good people, good products. That I know, because I've dealt with the customer service so many times, and I've used them so many times and had so many clients use them, and people I know. So, we talked about that in the studies that we did and how we went about, testing different companies out in my other video. So that is the ultimate SARMS and Peptides healing stack. I hope that was educational. I love doing these videos like this. It's always fun for me. So that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli signing off.